Okay, so my name's Scorch and I'm VOD reviewing player named Warru's Genji gameplay. So, alright, let's do a fit check first. It's a really good fit. Gold on gold. Very nice. Could get a better weapon charm, to be honest. Alright, let's see. So,
I do not wish to be feared,
let's
but
see.
to be left alone.
Looks like we're running a Cassidy Ash. I'm going against a Cassidy Ash Mercy Lucio Doomfist with a Diva, Moira, Hanzo, Mercy, Genji. Now, it's if you're playing Genji into that team comp, it's better to poke Cassidy from close range, not far away, because it's simply Cassidy is way more reliable to deal damage to Genji from long range than Genji is to Cassidy, and you can't properly dive Cassidy since he has a lot of HP and his flashbang is incredibly powerful, even against deflect which is really hard to deflect flashbang now. And the roll's damage reduction is also very powerful, and the headshots, it's just really easy to hit. It's basically a point-and-click simulator. That's why Cassidy is one of the most powerful picks against Genji. I ban him every game. Now Ash is so this is a plat 3 to plat 4 game, and Ash should be an easy poke for Genji, since the scoped in shots are not easy to hit against a Genji with good movement, as in like climbing, double jumping, dashing, deflecting. It's hard to damage with. But deflect also, I think there's a bug with Ash. I'm not fully sure. I haven't tested it, but I feel like every time I deflect uh, Ash's shots back to her, I don't deal the same amount of damage that she does to Genji. And Coach Gun is easy to play against. It's just you have to time your diving correctly, as in if you dive an Ash and she uses Coach Gun, do you have dash or not? If you don't have dash, then you can't continue the dive. You have to retreat. But if you manage to dive her without a dash and she uses a Coach Gun, then you can use dash to follow up and get closer again. And since Ash is really hard, really weak close range, it's an easy pick, especially in Plat where a lot of players don't have good, social awareness. So they get tunnel vision easily. That's why Aunos are also really easy to dive in low elo. Now, the Lucio should be like your now. The Mercy
I've
should be
learned a
a
lot from my
high priority
experiences.
since even in master lobbies, Mercy players don't have good survival instincts, so they're easy to dive, but
Five,
sometimes hard
four,
to hit if you
three,
don't have one,
two,
good aim, and two, if they have
one.
good movement.
Round
The
one.
Lucio
Capture
is
the
less of a
objective.
priority unless your team has a good enough push on the space. The Doom should be an easy dive if uh, they don't have enough supports on them. I'll explain later how to dive a tank. So our team comp we're running with is a Mercy, Hanzo, Moira, Diva. So the Diva should be holding the chokes down really powerful, and your Diva is basically gonna be conducting the whole play space for your team and the other team, since Diva is the only literally the only character in the whole lobby that has armor right now, and she's basically the strongest tank, and she's gonna be making the most space, especially against double hit scan. Your Hanzo and Mercy should be able to hold down a lot of mid range for your team. We'll see in a minute now where the Hanzo will get a pick on Ash, or this whole space here will be cleared out by Hanzo. Like they'll be scared to approach it. You as a Genji, you'll be able to get a lot of flank openings, since hit scan players, especially Ash, will usually hold down a certain sight line that leaves room for right and left flanks. And since you have a lot of mid-range open, especially their backline, the enemy's core is really weak. So they have a Lucio Mercy core, which is really weak to and really vulnerable to dives. So let's see here. So I suggest a Moira going with you on flanks. So So already we can see here where the Doom just dives in with a slam, punch, block. You used up all his abilities. And Mercy is out here trying to heal the team, and nobody can rely on a Lucio's heal for a tank, especially not at this range. So already the Doom should be dying really quickly. Obviously the Hanzo isn't there on time, can't hit. You did the right thing here. You attacked his backside while he's deflecting and dashing, and you pressured him out. So usually a game like so they're running like a sort of poke dive comp, and you're running like a brawl poke comp. So this game's the whole game, I'm assuming, it should be about pressure. So a lot of players don't really understand what pressure is. Pressure is the trading of resources and the like amount of space that a team holds, and that trade back and forth. Now I'll explain how as a Genji how to approach tanks. So you can already see here the Doom gets back, gets healed again, and then with the DPS they're just trying to hold down the choke, right? And your diva is just out in the back. It looks like she wants to approach the main, but she's going down the side stairs. Again, they just so this is what I'm talking about. This is just a game of pressure. The Doom and the Lucio, then they're not pushing in. They're just holding off point, just enough so they can cap point. While your Hanzo, Mercy are just trying to hold down the space and get some picks. Now this is really vulnerable for your team because you're getting choked. One thing that people should understand as a team, if you're going against a Doomfist, never get into chokes. The choke is when multiple players are in like a really small amount of area space. Because obviously, look, there's gonna be a dynamite, everybody's gonna start burning, Doom is gonna punch in, especially with a Hanzo and Plow where they're gonna shoot the block and he's gonna get charged fist. And it's very you get really vulnerable, especially when you have a core that isn't strong against dive. So like Mercy, Moira, Hanzo, they're really weak against dive. So right here, what you're doing is you're just standing in the choke, which is dangerous. But I understand that you're trying to hold off the Doom from attacking your team, but you can't. You most times, like 85% of the time, if you're playing Genji, you just ignore the enemy tank, and then you just move into the back line because that's what your character is really the most powerful with. It's when everybody else is distracted with one thing, while you're just, you're literally a ninja. So at this point, the Doom has done the same thing 3 times now. I'd suggest moving into the side, right? And then we'll see in a second. I think the Mercy here is really vulnerable. Everybody's facing away. If you just went on a slight flank, you should be able to do it. The one thing about this map is that you can flank in so many different ways. As in, let's say someone is standing here, right? You as a Genji could flank from here, but that's too expected. So you just climb over the rooftop and then you dive. This map is really easy for flanks, so you should be going for flanks. They can't point. Hanzo takes out Ash. You should have the advantage, right? And Duke should be dead by now. The amount of times he's died and nobody's paid the price for it isn't right. So it's good. Now you're going for flank. Perfect. Now your Mercy is with you. You understand. They understand. Nice. See, you saw their weak point and you went in. That's good. And the D.Va finally moved in, made some space, and determines if we're pushing in or not. You go for the Mercy. That's the most vulnerable. Good. The Lucio's weak. Okay, you kill the Lucio. It is good that you understand, well, what's the term for it? Hero priority. So, like, let's say if you're going against a pocketed DPS, you obviously have to prioritize the pocket before you can attack the DPS. Even if you have DPS passive, sometimes it's not enough. And let's say you're fighting 2 different supports, one support has less health, you always go for the one with the less health, if you have the right resources in the support. So, do you have dash here? I feel like you should have dashed at Doomfist. Yeah, you had dash. You always just go in. Yeah, that was bad. So you are on console, and I don't understand like the delays between movements and like aiming and shooting. Um, try and I suggest don't be too hasty. Usually one thing like a lot of Genjis do wrong, even I've been doing it wrong for a lot of time. Usually just dive in without thinking, saying, okay, I'm just gonna dash in, right click, deflect, kill someone or die, right? Most times you just die. But you usually have to think, okay, so where is the hero? And if I dive, is there any other teammate that might respond to that? It's usually for like game sense and high elo where people actually have social awareness and actually, hold off the pressure. Because let's say if this was like Master Lobby, the Doom knows that your Ashe is here and there's an attacking Genji. The Genji is gonna dive in and then Doom is gonna punch out. That's what I think. So I wouldn't dive the Ashe properly. I just wait for Doom to move away first. But obviously, you were literally better. I want to see how you approach the Mercy here. Now that is good, but I would have committed to that honestly, because if you dash early enough, the Cassidy wouldn't have shot you. And by the way, this is what I meant. I mean not Hanzo, Cassidy is incredibly powerful against you like that. I don't understand this Hanzo now can to turn and dash that fast, but this is what I meant by medium to long range when you're fighting a Cassidy. You can hit headshots really easily. Just like that. Okay, you dash away for safety. That is good, but on this map, dashing here is not the best way because now you're stuck. You don't have dash. Your Mercy is relying on you for movement. Now the Doom or the Cas could poke you from this side, or if you went here, they could just hit you from this side. And if you went here, they can still hit you. So it's not ideal to dash here. What I would have dashed instead is so you're like around here, right? I would have dashed back here, double jumped, and then climbed down here or into safety. This usually takes time to like understand, but once you get the idea of like your map surroundings and where you are and the location of where the enemies are, out of instinct you'll be able to dash away for safety. Like safety dashes are really fun to do, and it's really strategic. Because you just do it out of instinct most of the time. But you do have to think about it at least a little bit. Yeah, so out of safety, out of instinct, you just dash aside. But I would have, turned around longer to dash away to a better position. Now we'll see what happens here. Now you go from the side. Okay. They get lucky, but now they're pressing off. See what I mean? Now the Lucio's moving in, Doom is moving in, and it just gets really difficult. They rush them. They have a Widow. You should be going for the Widow. Perfect. They have tunnel vision. They have no clue how to attack. Okay, I understand what you're trying to do here, but you should just think before you use every ability at the same time. You move, right click dash in, good combo, right? And you're power boosted, and he's matrixed. I do this too sometimes, but you just have to calm down, take your time and just think through what your abilities could be used for or shouldn't be used for, right? He's already matrixed. He's not gonna shoot you. And you right clicked. What I would have done here is, and he's looking away from you. You should have just right click combo. Right click melee comboed him. Melee. And Lucio's here, easy here. Listen, I'm not too sure how good your skills with Genji, but usually if you see someone that's low HP, you usually want to commit either really early or just quick enough that it's going to be reliable. So you see you see him here, you don't have dash. Okay, kill him, and then I would have dashed instantly to Lucio. just to get as much damage out as fast and early as possible. Because who knows, maybe they just stop taking damage and then you right click but you miss. It's just not reliable enough. Dash is an incredibly reliable damage ability. You. I'm not gonna say it. I feel like you figured out. It's not always best to turn around the opposite way. That's, the longer way, but that just comes down to my opinion of macro. When you become, so the difference between a Masters player and a Grandmaster, actually no, a Grandmaster and a Champion player, it just comes down to macro at some point. At some point, everybody's good at their heroes so well, right? You get so good at a hero that you have the best aim, you have the best movement, you have the best game sense, right? You're really good at the game. And then the only difference between like the 0.2% and the 0.1%, it just comes down to macro, the smallest things, the min-maxing, the efficiency, and the smallest inches of aim or whatever. It just comes down to those at some point. Or sometimes it even comes down to the timing of things. Oh, you should they have done this ability at this time or like a second later. It just comes down to macros at some point. So when you pay more attention to the intricacies of your character, you gotta understand that if you maybe turned around the right way at the right time, you might have been able to hit someone earlier than they would have punched in and maybe done some value, get the value. But you can ignore all that. I mean, that's not really something a plat player should be focusing on. I would have went for the Mercy, honestly. Well, I also want to see you climb more, right? So all you've been doing so far is you've just been walking around, jumping, dashing, right-clicking, right? And just been diving people. But I want to see more poke from you. I want to see you climb more. I've finished like 4 or 5 fully complete Genji parkours, right? Just so I can understand the movement better. And okay, now I'll explain how to fight a Doomfist.
Helden sterben nicht. Forward barrier activated. Be nourished.
The Doomfist is good. He's pressuring in and pressuring out, but he's not getting enough value. As in, like, he's dealing damage, but it's not enough damage to actually kill someone or force someone out of a position. Okay, so how to attack tanks as a Genji? If you're playing Doomfist, Doomfist has 3 abilities: block, slam, and punch, right? If you're Genji, you don't want to stay on the ground if you're playing against a Doomfist, because you don't want to give him overhealth and you don't want to get stunned, right? If he's looking to punch you, if he's focusing, and you will be able to tell if he's focusing you or not. He'll start punching you, right? You should keep your distance from a Doomfist so his primary shots aren't as powerful, because people don't really know this, but Doomfist and Genji's attacks are in a cone shape. So you probably know this, but you never thought about it. Genji's shurikens don't shoot like this. Genji's shurikens shoot like this, right? So the closer you are, the more close together the shurikens are. But the farther you are, the more spread out they get. And that's why it's better to, use the primary fire where it goes straight. And if you're playing as a Doomfist, it's the same thing. It's actually just a bunch of, it's like shotgun pellets. The farther they get, the more spread out they get. So the farther you are from the Doomfist, the less damage you're gonna deal to you, and the harder it gets to punch you if you're not close enough. And he needs Empower Punch to actually be able to hit you accurately and fast enough where you won't be able to dodge it. So don't attack a Doomfist from close up unless he doesn't have punch, right? He doesn't have punch, and he's blocking and he has slam. You can go get close to him if he has blocking and slam, because when he's blocking, I get to block last. When he's slamming, he has to do area effect on the ground. And if you're constantly jumping from wall to wall to wall, and you're double jumping, double jumping, double jumping, he can't. Most Doomfists can't just time for when you're gonna hit the ground, right? You have so many abilities to keep you off the ground that it's not reliable enough to use an ability just to. It's not reliable for Doomfist. It's not. I ideal or viable for the Doomfist to use slam against you, you know? So just keep your feet off the ground when you're playing against the Doomfist so he doesn't take the overhealth and you don't get stunned. Um, and for the block, right? So when he's blocking, he gets damage reduction here. And what you should be doing is you should be turning around and hitting his back. Now, I did see you do this. That's good, right? I haven't seen you play against any other tank before. This is the only video I've seen you play. But do this with every tank. Because the team is here, right? This is your enemy. This is your team. They're pushing on this end, right? Damage reduction. He's holding off damage and he's getting powered punch. His back is vulnerable here. You go in and hit his back. What does the Doomfist have to do here? And Doomfist is one of the weakest tanks in the game. He doesn't have any shield or armor. He works with overhealth. Now, a really good Doomfist. Now, every Doomfist, if they're in this situation, they have two things. No, there's like three things they can do. No, four things actually. One, he can die. He has to die. Two, he has to punch away, right? He has to like leap and punch away. We've seen this Doomfist do it. Three, he has to punch your team. He punches your team, he gets overhealth, and then he dies. Or he leaps away to safety somehow if your team isn't, smart enough to punish him for that. Or four, he turns around and punches you. So what do you think is the most viable option for the Doomfist? Dying, he doesn't want to do that, but it's probably gonna happen. Punch away, really viable. Punch your team, viable, maybe. It's like 50-50. Punch you, extremely not viable. So you take advantage of this because you're Genji. You're gonna be double jumping. You're gonna be climbing. As I said, you want to be floating. You want to float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. So you've probably seen Doomfist clips like where they just turn around, do a 180, and punch a tracer, right? That's basically what he has to do against you. And then meanwhile, if he turns around to you, there's gonna be enemy team shooting at his back again, where he's vulnerable, and then he's gonna take way more damage. There's no damage reduction on his back. And this is equivalent to every tank except, like for example, a Reinhardt, right? This is a Reinhardt shield. This is Reinhardt. He has a beard. And this is your team. They're shooting here. You turn around, shoot where his shield isn't. He either has to turn around to you or turn around to the team. Either way, he's getting rammed from both sides. He can't pin away because you can just punish him easily. Because charge isn't that hard to fight against actually. Um, and this could be said for the same for Diva. She has Matrix. Team is shooting at Matrix, holding down choke, and then you just turn around, hit where it's weak. You do this as Genji with every tank except like one or two, right? So for like Zarya's damage reduction is a bubble. You can't force anywhere. Usually you either never want to fight against a Zarya, like you might want to swap, or you just want to wait out the bubble or just poke. You never want to get close. If she runs out of bubble, you go use everything on you. Use dash, right click, everything. Forget deflect, unless you are predicting her grab. If you go against Ram, obviously you turn around. If you are going against a Roadhog, it's equivalent to Zarya, but the opposite. You basically shoot him all the time if you're not prioritizing the backline. If they don't have a backline, if you're shooting a Roadhog, you shoot him constantly. And it just takes game sense to predict when he's gonna have a. Let's get back to the VOD. See how you're doing well here. Okay, it's good. We're walking out. Ooh, this is really bad. Oh, this is really bad. Okay. Wow, you just walked in there, huh? Yeah, what did you think you were gonna deflect here? I understand you were like half HP, and you're deflecting a Doom that's walking away and a primary attack. You never deflect the Doom's primary attack. It's so weak unless it's like a proper headshot at point blank. If a Doom is not point blank, why are you never have to use deflect? And especially a Reaper that's not even that close to you. Uh, it's good that you canceled it, but before you even like, uh, use it, you just have to think. I mean, if you thought about it, then you wouldn't have to waste it, especially on 10-second cooldown now. The game is literally punishing players who don't use deflect properly. Then they're nerfing deflect. Reaper just walk down. Normally, I'd say like you'd have to get object permanence. Like, if they're just because they're behind cover doesn't mean they just disappeared. You have to predict them where they're gonna go, right? Because you have the Diva and the Moira here. They're forcing out main. No, none of them want to go through here unless, maybe a Suicidal Lucy or a really aggressive Doomfist with Empowered Punch, right? They're holding off at this end. And you poked here. Nobody's gonna go through main. So, where else are they gonna go? They're gonna go on the side. Obviously, you can hear and you can see the Reaper move. You don't look at him once. He turns around to look at you. He has no fade, by the way. You should keep track of their abilities. Their Widow is looking straight at you, literally at your head. I don't know how she doesn't hit you. Alright, I guess she does hit you, but not headshot. It's good that you're focusing down the Widow, but as I said, you could have flanked in a different way. What I would have done is I would have climbed this wall here. Instead of turn around, you have Genji. I honestly can't remember one time that you've climbed on this game so far. And you don't want to right click at that range. You want to left click, especially a Widow that's standing still. This is... I don't even know what to say here, right? Like, this isn't necessary. You have a Mercy, you have dash, you have right click, you can just walk to her. She can't even hit you properly. And there's a Mercy. I think what you thought about using Blade here is you saw two little squishies in front of you that are really vulnerable, right? And one of them used Glide, and you just want to dash, you want to Blade, get a 2k, 3k, right? I understand that, but you gotta understand, don't make decisions too early and don't make decisions too hastily, You're making decisions too fast. If you think, okay, you dash through them and they're weak enough that you don't need to use Blade here. You could just dash in, or you could just right click one more time, kill her, and then dash into the Mercy. If you dashed her and meleeed, a dash melee combo, not right click, she would have been 1 HP or she would have just died. This was very unnecessary. And let me tell you about how to Blade, right? You did it properly. You started off the blade properly. Now, I'm not saying this is a good blade. You should not have bladed here, especially when it's a 40 to 30, right? You usually want to save blade for like a crucial push from the enemy team. Right now, you can't say that they've pushed. You can only see the Doomfist push, but not their team. Because if you look at the team, only the Lucio and Doom are playing dive. And where is the Lucio, by the way? Right, not with the Doom. You go in, you dash, you right click blade. That's good. Let's see how you do that here. Look, even the Doom tried to focus you out. You gotta be more socially aware of your surroundings.
Behind me.
Your Mercy's doing everything to keep you alive.
I am fully.
You literally should have gone for the Lucio here. I don't care what any excuse you have. You should have went for the Lucio, not for the Reaper.
You cannot escape me.
I can see you on console, so it's hard to aim. But yeah, see, they have beat now. You should have saved it for after beat. You actually could have baited beat if you dashed the Widow, right? Kill the Widow, and then dash the Lucio or the Lucio. You would have baited out beat. Okay, this is so wrong. You can see the Mercy's getting dealt damage at half HP. You could have dashed her instead. I think what's happening to you right now is you're panicking. Not like you're not panicking as bad, but you have adrenaline you right now. You're just stressing like, oh my god, I can't die. I'm just going in, dealing damage, diving, killing, pop, right click, left, right, left, and just killing everyone, right? And not even thinking. Now they use Fade, and you only got one kill with a Widow. That is not ideal.
Gale the Mahol.
Now you can see that now your team's trying to use more resources, while they only use one ultimate. I mean, to be fair, they're not even close to any other ultimates, but you've used two so far, and only gotten a Widow and a Feeding Doom. This is good for pressure, but now yeah, the Widow's waking up, and your Moira is really low. This is not ideal, right? Okay, nice one. Oh man. Come on now. It's like you have so many free openings. I should just went for it. You have so many free openings and you're just not realizing them. You can work on your aim. Oh man, I'm telling you, like, you're not climbing. Yeah, when you're poking, right? When you're poking, even if you're close range, if you climb and then right click and then jump, right click, you're able to do so many more things. Yeah, see, now they get back to the point now. You could have right clicked dash the Reaper right there. So I do this, right? This is my personal macro. I find it useful. You might find it useful too, but I keep track of which enemy has DPS passive. You can't tell from the other team, from the other side, but if you just think about it, and if you keep track of who takes damage from who, you can actually remember who has DPS passive and who you should be able to focus. We see here that when you look at the Reaper, he's okay. It's probably just me, but everybody in this lobby is playing really slow. As like people's reaction times are incredibly slow in plat. That Lucio, you just dealt so much damage to him. You could have dashed him, and you could have curve dashed him. In fact, you could have double jump dashed, and you could have killed him so easily there. Look at this, and he's moving over there. You could have curve dash, and then turn around and hit him, right? But now he got healed. You see him. I personally would have saw him take damage without. No, you didn't deal damage to him. You see the Hanzo deal damage. He has DPS passive. Okay, good. You're focusing the Mercy, right? Why? The Reaper's right there. You could have right-click dash him so easily, and if you right-click dash melee combo, you could have killed him right then and there. Nice. You're finally climbing, right? Good. But now you're in a weak spot. Look where your diva is. This is not a good look, bro. This is a really bad look for you. I would like take a picture of this and send it in Discord because this is a terrible positioning. This is like a picture perfect of what bad positioning looks like. Your Hanzo is running away from nothing. Your diva has no mech, far away. Your Mercy just healing a full HP Hanzo, and you're behind the enemy Doom fighting a pocketed Genji with Lucio, right? I wonder what happened. I wonder what went wrong. Let's see. Alright? You saw the diva break mech, right? You come back from spawn. You see her go get out of mech and you start moving because you're the new tank, alright? You hear the Hanzo use Storm Arrow, which means your Hanzo's vulnerable. If you hear your own Hanzo use Storm Arrows, you would be like, damn, he he can't protect himself now, right? What are we gonna do? Okay, we have no tank, so no tank mech. We have no Storm Arrows to hold off any attacks. They have a Doomfist and their whole team's alive and they're pushing in. And you, my good sir, decide to push in. You dash in, the only ability that could have saved your ass. And you realize for a split second that you realize, oh shit, I'm positioned bad, I'm taking damage, I gotta run away. So you do that, and you climb for the first time. In this split second, you actually improved than like 10% more of your whole gameplay here, and then you went back down to 10%. I think you were trying to move back here. Okay, you did try to like walk back a bit, but you should have just like, thought about this beforehand, because I mean, a lot about Plat is that you could have bad mechanics, but you could also have like the simplest game sense, and you could just like punish people for it. People, like for example, like Genji dashed here, right? He has no dash back. What does he?
Receive my aid.
No, he just walks back. Whatever. So you died really fast again. As I said, you're just playing really hastily. You're not thinking. You have to you have to calm down, right? You have to think through things, right? You have to think through which hero has, what ability. You have to keep track of your abilities. You have to calm down you have to calm down. You're not the GOAT. You're not him, right? You're not gonna just kill everyone. This isn't a bronze lobby. People are gonna punish you for overextending.
Always precede victory.
Okay, your team gets a really good point here. So, okay, never mind. That Reaper should be dead by now. Good. I would have walked up way earlier. As Genji, you never want to freeze unless you're expecting someone. You should be constantly on the move, even on point. Like you want to get on the drum and then you just want to poke more. You should constantly be poking, right? Unless you're going against a Pokemon, which is like a Widow, Ash, Hanzo, and you don't want to give out your location, you don't poke. If you're on like a higher level where people actually care about that, or if you're like camping a corner where you want spawn camp with someone. But other than those two situations, you always have to be on the move, constantly throwing out shurikens and focus. I feel like it should be understood now that you'd never want to be here. You never want to be in a situation. You never want to climb and poke here. You never want to turn around and poke. This is such a vulnerable area. Okay, let's see what happens here. Yeah, okay, you try to climb it. Look at this position, right? You go on a flank, and the D.Va's trying to hold up the space. That Genji should be dead. The Doom is walking in, right? There's only a Reaper focusing you. Where?
Heroes never die.
So what I would be doing here is I'm moving away from the Reaper and I'm focusing the Genji or the Mercy.
Heroes never die.
Okay, you could work on your mechanics. You really have to work on your aim. You're moving in, right? And you're poking the Doom, but you're missing your shurikens, the Reaper, you're just right clicking, left clicking without thinking. You have to work on your aim and you have to climb more. Okay, please deflect here. I really want to see you deflect this ultimate. That's really good. Even the D.Va Matrix did that. Basically, it's not about D.Va, it's about you. You thought about deflecting. That's good. And you did deflect it. This is so free. Nobody's looking at you right now. This is a perfect, picture perfect position of where Genji should be playing. Always behind, without nobody looking. Nice. You got a double dash in with a right click, right? But you could have worked on dealing some more damage before committing your dash. Because you're playing against Lucio, Doom, Genji, right? And Mercy. They have a high mobility. If you're if you're committing to a high mobility hero with your movement abilities and they still have theirs, you're basically cooked, right? And since you couldn't deal enough poke damage early on, before this fight, you don't have Blade ready yet. You know what I mean? Like you have to think more, you have to calm down and then work on aiming properly. Okay, so you lost point and you got really pressured back. At least in your subconscious, you probably didn't think about this, but you still did a good thing. You started walking back, you started retreating, right? You could have done this consciously, but it's good that you just retreated because you understood you lost the space, your tank is dead, your Hanzo's dead, you're moving back. That's good. I want to see you melee more. I don't think I've seen you melee like a proper fight yet. A proper enemy. You need to calm down, think about how you're gonna attack, right? Think about your combos. Uh, Usually, if you've played Genji enough for a long enough time with in the right way, you basically do the combos instinctively, like different combos instinctively, right? In the right timing. But if you're just like, using the same combo over and over again, while other combos, different ones might be viable, and you're just not playing right. Right here, that Genji should be really low. Look at that. You hit a right click and you deflected, and then you double jumped out of the way of the Doomfist punch. You could have dashed into him and then meleeed. Dash melee is a very underappreciated combo because it saves time on aiming and then hitting someone. And once again, for the Reaper, you could have just meleeed him out because after you melee someone, there's a delay between melee and right click, which is a bug, and I think it's only for Genji. So what I would have done for Reaper is I would have meleeed and now I would have dashed because there is no delay between melee and dash. Right there, you could have right click, meleeed, and then dashed away. It's just min-max, and this is like a sort of little bit of macro, right? But playing Genji, macro is really important, like Tracer, because you have a really high skill ceiling. And when you're playing Genji, if you're not at the right amount of skill, then people are gonna punch you so easily for it.
I am here.
That's why probably in your other games that you have the perfect position for a dive, and you're just missing your shots, you're just missing your dashes, melees, and you just can't kill them when they're 1 HP. That's probably due to your macro not being, refined enough. You can't hit the right shots in the right time or the right combos, right? It usually does come down to the wire.
Do your thing, Genji.
I don't want to see this ever again. You're just standing in the open. You're not climbing. You might be double jump, but you're not taking, any safety positions. You can hear, and you should know that the Reaper's on the flank. You have nobody with you other than Mercy pocketing you. And you just turn to the right. I think you were trying to look at the Reaper, but you just looked away from the enemy. I mean, you're not positioning very well at all. Look at this. They're trying to punish you, but they're plat, so they can't. So you're just getting away with it. I'm gonna tell you, if you get into another lobby with this diamond player, someone's gonna punish you. And you can't get away with stuff like this anymore. Okay, you did a safety dash when you weren't in danger. and probably in your head you were thinking that like, oh crap, they're TPing in, they're walking in, they're speeding up, I'm scared. You know what's happening, so you're dashing out. You have to calm down and think, right? And
On.
I feel like I can recognize your playstyle because I've done it before and I've seen other people do it before. You're in your head, you have like adrenaline running through you in your head. So like you just everything is so heightened for you right now. You're like, I think it's due to those like a couple of power boosted kills that you got in early on, but you were like, okay, right click, dash. If it's the equivalent of when you see an ant crawl on your leg and you just start jumping. And you're like a little cat, the smallest touch and you just jump away like you're scared. Or the weakest link you see and then you just dash in, you know? You don't even care about how low they are, you just want to focus and damage them. Again, once more, you just deflected nothing. You can't deflect. I'm sure you know this, but you can't deflect. My bad, that wasn't you, that was the other Genji. Let's see how the other Genji bladed this. I feel like he did a good job, I can't tell. Okay, see how he's poking behind cover? He's using this pillar as his crux. He's just moving around this pillar to poke. The whole time he's using cover. He's not standing in front of the whole team. He sees the diva turn around. He sees you dash away. He sees the door of opportunity. There's space being made. He saw the Lucio moving, he saw the Reaper TPing, see the Doom punching in. There's space being made for him, and he realizes, okay, this is where we start thinking. He didn't do this right. He could have dashed up, or he could have dashed into the Hanzo, and then right click bladed. Everybody in this lobby's ass. I don't know what to say. Okay, I'm just saying. Everybody in this lobby are literally either just aim assist pleasers or they're just whatever, bro. How are you here, bro? What the hell happened? Did you just run away in the fodder of war?
Surrender.
Okay, I can see how you looked at the Lucio and you wanted to focus him down. That is good. I would have done that too. But I would have just like right click melee, deal as much damage early as possible, and then Seki moves away. I'm like, yeah, there's no point in that. So I would just.
Meteor strike.
Yep, that's good. Out of all your teammates, they realized they don't even have to worry about you, but now the Mercy, Lucio does that. So that's good. Please get that Mercy. Oh my god. You did good there. You know what? You did good there. I'm just give it to you. You did fine there for a plat console player. You did really good there. Okay? I mean, I'm on PC. I have higher standards. Um, and I'm a Masters player, so I do have higher like macro standards. But you did good there. You went in. You deflected damage into the Mercy enough so you could kill her with Blade. You dashed in, deflected out, made some space between the enemy, and then they took out the Reaper. So you got. What do you think of it? You killed the. I mean, come on! How did they not see this? Really? I swear, people in this lobby are so tunnel vision. Look at this Mercy. They're just so tunnel vision into pocketing. This Doom is tunnel vision to a Hanzo when there's like 3 people on point. What is happening? How are people letting you get away with this? It's just a mess. Okay, nice. You walked in, you killed the Genji.
I hate to be the doctor who has to take that.
Good, good. You did that. Nice. Good. Nice. Good. Okay. So for this match, I would give you a 6 out of 10, or maybe a 6.5 or 7 out of 10, okay? Because how do I increase this razor? My days. File, new, don't save. Okay. Shoot, that's a pencil. Where's a brush? Okay. I'll give you a 6 out of 10 because one, you had really bad positioning. Okay. You were in the front line when you had no front line. You had you were walking in and dashing in when the enemy were just walking past you and they were just straight up looking at you while you were just looking at either a wall or you just looking at a backline person that's like full HP and you're not gonna get any value like that. You're not a tank. You can't just walk in like that, you know? Uh, and you had bad position when you were dashing out or if you were trying to get to safety, you couldn't do anything. And you didn't climb. This is the one that I'm most mad about, that you just didn't climb. Climb, there's only like 4 heroes in the game that can climb, right? And you're the most, and out of all of them, you're the most powerful one to use climb with. You have double jump with the climb. I'll show you in a moment what's the best way to climb poke, but you should never climbed for, to get a better position, better angle. You never got an off angle. You only like got lucky behind them. And you just the only times you got a kill is when they couldn't punish you. You got the Widow kills because they couldn't shoot you, they couldn't hit you in time. The Doom tried to punch you like three different times in three different occasions when you were trying to kill that backline. You killed that backline because the Doom couldn't punch you. So we'll add to that. You need more social awareness. And you need better mechanics or better aim. Because so far, as many other people have said this and pointed out, not to you, but like many other VOD reviewers, that you never just wanna shoot around willy-nilly, right? You're just gonna look around and you just look around the enemy like you see a choke and you just right click, right click, right click. If the shuriken's gonna hit, they're gonna hit. You're never focusing down the enemy and aiming at where they're gonna be because your projectile. Yeah, you gotta know where they're going. And your abilities. This is like the least of your issues, but you have to work on this more. Your ability usage. So if this is taking like about an hour of a video, and if this is really intricate, or maybe you're not understanding all this, or if this is too difficult for you, but you can understand, I'm a master's PC player, and I just have a higher standard, and I just keep track of a lot of things. Yeah. You don't have to worry about macros, right? So like the smallest efficiency, you don't have to worry about macros. That's when you figure out all of these. Once you figure out all of these, then you go to macro and you learn about macro, okay? So I give you a 6 out of 10 for that round. Let's see what's next. Because honestly, you got lucky winning this round. They couldn't punish your team from they literally pushed your whole team to their spawn and they only got to let go of you. Hello. And they somehow couldn't.
Hi. It was not easy.
At that point, it's crazy.
In your shadow.
I would have preferred you at my
Yeah,
side.
you're hyped. You're hyped. You're like, we're gonna win this.
Club Fever. LOL.
Receive my aid.
Let's see what's swapped here.
5, 4.
There is one thing I want to say for game sense. I've done this before, and it sometimes helps, not always. If you see someone on the enemy team constantly swap heroes, like 3 or 4 different heroes throughout like one round, then they have something I like to call hero fever. Hero fever is when a player tries to play a hero and doesn't think they get enough value, so they swap to a different hero, and then the same thing happens. So they just keep swapping, think, oh, I'm gonna counter swap, I'm gonna counter swap, or they just keep swapping because they don't think they have enough value. I love to see a scoreboard for that first round, because that means if they have hero fever, then they probably aren't good at their skill. You know, they can't play the game properly. So you take advantage of that. That's good for you to focus them down. Okay. Again, you're deflecting the doom blade. You can do nothing. Okay, you're putting a dash. Ooh, okay. Again. See, like, you somehow managed to do that. The team is dying, by the way. I'm telling you, using your ability is way too fast. Nice, although you could have... You're missing so many shots when you shouldn't be. Out of that, right click, only one of those shurikens hit. And you were point blank, by the way. Same thing happens right here. Wanna tell me what those 2 shurikens are? Why only one of them hit? You have dash, by the way. You could just dash them. But you missed it. I'm telling you, you have so many open opportunities, and you're just not you're not taking advantage of it. My brother once told me this, right? If you're a gold player, that means you have better aim than a silver player. If you're a gold player, then that means you have better game sense and better aim than a silver player, right? If you're a plat player, you're just a lucky gold player. If you're a diamond player, you have good aim, but you don't have any game sense. If you have, or you have game sense and you don't have any good aim. Okay, you're just getting lucky with the other side. If you're masters, you have good aim and good game sense, but you have no macro. You can't rank up at all because you can't focus on the little things. If you're grandmaster, you have a, what was it? If you're grandmaster, you have good aim, good game sense, and good macro. But honestly, I don't remember about the grandmaster one, but I'm just telling you, if you're a plat player, right? You're just a gold player, but really advanced in the game. You're just a really good gold player. That's basically what plat is. Okay? You can like there's so many punishable things that happen in a plat game that nobody's taking advantage of because people just don't recognize it. You can't keep track of abilities, you can't keep track of positions, you can't keep track of, good advantages. That was a lucky kill. You didn't mean to do that. You did a right click deflect. But you got lucky. And now you dashed in. Nice. Good. That's exactly what I was talking about. You do a climb shoot, right? Climb poke. That Ana, yeah, I don't know how you didn't kill that Ana, by the way. That Ana should have been dead. She was 1 HP. Okay, good. You see how only 3 of them, it only took 3 of them to focus on you, just so you could die? missed like 4 different right clicks and you missed a dash. My god. Oh my god. As do what? I can't sugarcoat this, bro. I can't sugarcoat this. What are you doing? What was that for? Even your mercy pocket boosted you expecting you to do something. What happened? Oh my god. You even missed the dash on the med pack. I understand you're on console, but you come on. You gotta take your time to aim, right? As easy as aiming on console goes, I don't know, I've never played console, but I mean, surely you gotta crank that aim assist up or something, man. Or you just gotta take your time. It was. Oh, in the perk, let's talk about the perk real quick, right? You have a because you got the Dragon Blade and the heal perk. It's good that you took the Dragon Blade. Dragon Blade heal is better than the other one. And I personally always go for the dash, but I understand if you're going against a poke, then healing would be better. So I'm okay with you.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
I swear, if somebody dies to this.
The dragon consume you!
What the hell is happening in this lobby, bro?
Meteor strike!
That Reaper is so stupid. I don't know if you kept track of that, but this Reaper is just using that fade in the worst way possible. Did he use that to reload? There's no way. I can't tell. I got this weird bug on my screen. I think he used that to reload. There's so many punch. Okay, so ignore the Reaper. You could have killed the Genji here. Let's see how you go face the door.
Meteor strike!
Oh, there's no way. You've deflected so much damage and you didn't even like commit to it. Alright, never mind. Yeah. Your tank swaps because they don't think that they're dealing enough damage to kill someone, right? Your Reaper, this is exactly what I mean, right? Nobody's looking at the Reaper. They're just hiding. And now they're blading. Again, exactly what I meant by the safety dashes. You're just dashing into walls behind you. You have to look around to where you're gonna dash, and then you have to dash to that. I would dash to spawn. I'm sure you also wanted to dash to spawn, but it's either console or whatever. You just. Okay, this is probably just me, and you probably can't do it, but I can kill Genjis with blades. It's actually way easier than you think it is. That's why you die. As in general, but you can literally start shooting his head and spawn right now. This Doomfist guy. Okay, I will say you're doing a good thing by not looking at Doomfist. Because you don't want to focus tank with like 500 or like 700 health, while there's other people that you can focus on. Like, good. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You pay their mistakes. What's the word? You take advantage of their mistakes. Okay. You have to make them pay the price for having a bad positioning. They're doing the same to you, so you do the same to them. Good.
I am healed.
Their Ana is tunnel visioned. I would have looked at the Ana if that Lucio wasn't low HP. They saw you go through the screen, but they didn't even look twice.
Helping you out.
They literally still don't know you're there.
Malice.
They're pinging you. Literally, the Lucio is pinging you, saying, "Look, this Genji." I would have dove on it so bad. Miss a dash again? Point blank. Okay, you didn't, but you're still in the You missed one right click and you hit that. You climbed. Whoa, good. Good job climbing. You missed a dash and a right click. Good job, bro. Good job. Okay, good. You deflected the shot that would have killed you probably. Now you climb. Good. Now this is not punishment for Nice. Exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? You think about what your ability is gonna do, and you do it. And you commit to it. Okay? You don't mess around with, trying to be necros and dashing, like do ghost dashes right and left without thinking.
My spirit blazes.
I don't know if that was lucky or not, but again, you're missing your shots. Well, I'll show you later, but like, okay, so this is what you're doing, okay? This is you, and then let's say this is the Genji or the Reaper, okay? And this is what you're doing. As they're moving right and left, okay, this is them. They're just moving right and left. You're just shooting here. You're just shooting here. Thinking that as they're moving right and left, you just eventually hit them, okay? What if they're moving like this? What if they're moving, or what if they're moving like this? They're just not moving into your line of sight. You know what you should be doing? Okay, that's the Genji moving from side to side, right? And this is you. You should be either predicting that if you're far away, you should be predicting that they're gonna go there. So you shoot here. So as they're moving here, you shoot them. Or if they're here, you just shoot them there. Okay, you gotta aim where they are or where they're gonna be. You don't shoot in one direction and hope that as they're moving right and left, you're gonna hit them. Hold on, for this whole like 2 seconds, you looked at the same spot. Right here. Your cursor doesn't move from this from one exact vector. Your vector didn't move once. You tracked deflect a bit at the end, but your cursor's vector stayed this exact same spot. You miss a couple shots there. You gotta work on your aim. Listen, I'm telling you, if the difference between a diamond player and a plat player, no, not diamond player. The difference between a plat 1 player and a plat 5 player is aim. That's all it is. I promise you, that's all it is. A good plat player has better aim than a plat 5 player. As in diamond, that's not the same thing. A diamond a diamond 1 player has just a little bit more better aim than a diamond 5 player. It's not as stark as it is in plat. If you just have better aim and better tracking, you'll be able to dominate anyone. In terms of aim. I don't know what are y'all doing? Like, I don't want to curse, man. Okay? Like, y'all are just waiting around playing fucking dice or something. What is this? Like, did everybody in the whole lobby just decide to pause, to take a drink or something? What is happening? Okay, so Cass, Mercy, Moira, they're just standing on point. And Ram is just standing there waiting for someone to move through, and you're just standing there waiting for someone to move through. The Doom is just waiting there. What is this lobby? What you should be doing is you should be poking. You should come up here, climb, jump down, and then start poking. Okay?
Prepare yourself.
I swear, you should be going up here and then poking. I'll show you later. I'll open up a custom game and I'll show you. Okay, good. You dashed through, but you should be poking. You should be flanking here. This is so juicy. There's 3 people in a vortex. Nice. You decide to blade. That's good. You didn't right click though. Okay, that's fine. But you bladed a beat. That's good, that's good. Okay. See exactly what I mean? You did a good thing there. You started tracking them. You tracked the journal. That's what you were moving. You didn't just look at one spot and hopefully. I can literally see you looking around to climb, but you can't. What are you doing? I'm putting out another one. Bad positioning. No, not bad positioning. Not correct positioning. Cause actually no, never mind. You do have bad positioning. Cause you're just not getting punished for it. Okay, bad positioning. I want you to climb more. Social awareness. Not social awareness. I want you to keep track of abilities. Or keep track of enemies. Keep track of enemies. You need object permanence, my friend. Or take a colorblind test. I don't know. Track of enemies. Of what abilities they have, what they use, where they are. You know, if they're vulnerable or not. Better aim. You need better aim. Ability usage. Usage not hastily. Using them too fast. Hold on. Let me reword that. Ability usage without thinking. It's really hard to type with the mouse. Poking your downtime. And you're... That's a really terrible end. You're not poking in your downtime. You have to poke in your downtime. Bro, you can't make this up. What the fuck was that? What? What? You just walk past them casually. They didn't look at you, you didn't look at them. There's literally nobody else here, by the way. They don't see you here. This is so quick. They see you dash.
No kill
This lobby,
is
I don't know.
clean.
This is bronze. This is bronze. This ain't plat. This is bronze. This is bronze buns. Do you just want to go into that? I swear, like you people, like, did everybody here just sign a contract saying we only fight each other if we agree to it in a formal duel? What is this? Like, did y'all have to like sign up a contract before y'all can start fighting each other? What is this? I mean, I'm assuming you would go for the mega, but you didn't. You just walked back to where you came from. The Lucio doesn't see you or hear you or whatever. How? Why did it take you that long to shoot someone? you just go on a trip. You're going on a trip on your favorite rocket ship. What is this? Where are you headed to? Where are you headed? Where are you going? Where are you going? You're just walking around. You're not even shooting at anyone. You're just not even looking at anyone. It took you that long to start shooting at the Reaper. I mean, this doesn't have to do with console. You're just not shooting. You're not pressing the right. You're just not pressing the button.
Step right.
They're so low. The Hanzo is so low, and the Juno is so low. Just look at them.
My spirit grows strong.
You have so many free opportunities.
What is it overtime?
This was epitome of plat. I'm sorry to say this, bro, but this was the epitome of plat. You can't make this up. What? Dude, are you serious? That was just full plat. I mean, you have so many missed opportunities. Okay? I'm still keeping this at like a 6.5. You have so many good opportunities. Okay, I'm gonna show you a couple clips of mine, okay? Uh, where, okay, I'll show you my, let's say I got a 6K. Okay, I show you this clip, okay, clip of a lifetime. This was a very recent clip, and in this clip, it was a blade, and I killed someone even after, but it was like a 3v1, okay? And I still killed them. I'll explain what happened here. Pay attention to how I use my blade and my abilities. Pay attention to the abilities. Okay, we're gonna go down the list, okay? So it's already been an hour and 17 minutes into the video. I'm gonna show you how to use your how to fix these, okay? So let's see. Ability usage, okay? We'll figure out this. Watch how I play this.
Meteor strike.
Okay, you saw that, right? I use every ability when I needed to, and I use them, but as I use them knowing what will happen if I use it, and how I can, follow up with it. I use that deflect knowing that they will shoot the deflect, and I'll probably hit the Wu Yang. I hit the Wu Yang, and then I dash through the Genji into the med pack, in the direction of the med pack, because I knew that if I dash through him in any other direction, I'm still gonna be low health. So I go through him, and then he uses deflect. I realized I use deflect, and since he used deflect as he was turning away from me, I was able to shoot him because I had enough. I was fast enough to know what I was doing, and I actually had good enough aim to actually start aiming at him and shooting at him, even at a 180 degree as a turn. I should have said, and I killed him because that's exactly how you're supposed to use your abilities and your aim. Okay, let's see what else I have here. Uh, damn, these are pretty funny ones. Okay, I can't really think of much here, so I'll just go to custom game. And I'll go to Busan and I'll show you how to do a climb poke. Oh, where's it? Circuit alt. Okay, let's hope it shows us the right map. Okay, perfect. So, this is how I play this out. I go here, I start poking through here, okay? Because most of the time, everybody else, that's what their enemy is gonna walk through, and that's usually what other heroes do. Poke through there, okay? I come through here, I come here, I jump through this wall, okay? Because they don't know that we're gonna be shooting through here. So I go around, I take an off angle, and I start shooting there. Shoot there, and I shoot there, because those are the most likely places they're gonna start moving through it. Then we go to there, I come through here, I climb here, and I start shooting there. You see how I'm just constantly climbing around, moving? Meanwhile, what you were doing is you were just shooting here, you know, coming through here as a doom goes through, and you just jumping. Even as a doom is right next to you, I would have done this, and I would have done this, you know, just take my feet off the floor and just poke more. I would have come here, and I would have poked right here. This is exactly what I mean as a poke. I haven't played Genji all day today, so you just come through here and you just poke, okay? You do a climb poke. Do this, climb, poke, double jump, poke, climb again, poke. Basically poke, but as you're in the air, okay? Now, for the Widow is right there, right?
Over there! Over there!
What you should have done here, instead of walking through the Reaper here, you should have climbed over here, and then throw the Widow here, okay? And then, as you did it, but you didn't finish it off, you right-click that, they were low, and you did a right-click. But instead of right-click, you just bladed. I would have walked in more closer, get a pick, and then the Mercy was really low here, just go in again, and you kill him. Instead, what you did was, you went in, right click Widow, kill them, and then you fucked up. They beat it, they killed them, covered it, and you ran out of blade. They beat it, and you just had to fall away. And never try to get on this drum. This drum is really powerful because people usually can't see you from up there properly, especially when they're focusing somewhere else. They can't usually see you, especially if you're double jumping or if you're climbing through here. Okay, people don't know you can climb through that. So just remember, you gotta climb more and you gotta poke more. Because think about this, right? If someone is playing hit scan, or if they're playing brawl or poke, they're usually gonna shoot at chokes where they assume people will be the most likely, right? They'll be here, they'll be there, they'll be here. They may be there, but they could also be here, okay? They're never gonna expect you to be there. Never expect you to be there or there in that little smudge of a corner. They never expect you to be up there somewhere, okay? There's just too many dead zones that they never look for. So if you're just over here poking, they don't see you, they just see this shuriken, they just feel themselves taking damage. Never expect you to be anywhere else. And now, you mess up here really badly, okay? You climb here, and then you just try to fall back and die, right? It's hard to remember for me, but you should have just, instead of dashing back here and then you just poking here, you look here and then you turn back again. I'm seeing the damage. Why are you poking here, right? Enemy Genji is here, they're shooting at you like this. They're using this cover.
Over here!
You should not be here shooting like this willy-nilly. Instead, maybe you focus the Reaper, you know? Or go behind this cover and you start shooting from here. But, two things. One, if the Genji is smart enough, they'll probably go over this rooftop and then start shooting here. Okay, which one's better to poke? Like this, out in the open? Or over here? Well, they see you for a split second, you shoot, kill damage. If you have good aim, you can shoot and kill people like this. And you just poke from safety, you know? Play defensively. So you could have done the same thing. You could have poked here, you could have climbed, poked, poke, you know, they won't see you coming. So this map, you kind of fumbled it, my brother. I'm gonna see if I have another clip. So I have a 6K here, okay? So this 6K is just a nano blade, but at the very end, I missed one slash on the Ana. I did kill her with a melee though. I was, you know, just to fix your blades, you just look. Actually, no, that's too. Let's see what this is. Okay, so you see how I'm using my combos? I think before using my combos, I think about my combos as if which one's like more reliable in this situation. Because let's say I right click dash the Mercy, I will not the Mercy, the Tracer. If I right click dash melee the Tracer, then I won't be able to kill her because there'll be a delay between my right click and my melee. I think about that before I actually use the combo, because if I do it, then I won't be able to kill a Tracer. But if I instead you'd use a right click dash right click, then there won't be a delay for me to kill the Tracer, and then I can kill her later. And then I did. I used two different combos at the very end there. There's also let's see. Mm, I don't know. Some of these might be good, some of these might be bad. Let's see what this is. Okay, I'm just showing you some clips so you understand what kind of mechanics. I dashed away into the med and I climbed at the end above the med pack because I anticipated the Rhine charging in and trying to focus me out. Okay, so better aim. We looked at that. You have to get better aim. Poke in, not poke in your downtime. So you have to poke in your downtime. I would have, in the custom, I would have showed you, but you could have climbed out in there and get into a flank position. When you're in a flank position, you can either poke or you can dive. It's usually best, ideally, to poke if there's way more people, because if there's way more people and you're poking, they will probably look at you, and then you won't be able to finish off one target if there's like 3 different other people in the backline looking at you. So it's better to dive a backline if you're in a flank position if there's only like 1 or 2 people there, where you won't have as much pressure as you're trying to finish them off. Okay, so remember the downtime where everybody just paused in the whole lobby to like drink tea or something? That was your mark to get into the flank and get into the back line and start poking, but you didn't do that. We looked at climbing, where you could have climbed and poked. Okay, keep track of enemies. I want to show you one last clip of Ajaxing. I'm sure you know what Ajaxing is, but Ajaxing is killing a Lucio at mid beat, so they don't get the beat off. I thought about Ajaxing before I actually focused on anyone else. A deep clip? Because I was anticipating the overclock.
Over here. I see one.
I did miss the dash there, but it's the you gotta think about the game sense there. I focused the Lucio first instead of just going around nilly-willy, and I actually thought about where I was gonna dash into who before I did, so I knew what was gonna happen. Okay. So all in all, let me give you a final review here. Why is that doing that? There you go. Okay, all in all, what to work on? You have to work on all those. um, but how you can fix this? So think more, okay? You have to think more about cooldowns. Think more about cooldowns. And you have to pay attention to certain players. This is something that not a lot of people do, and it's really costly. You have to pay attention to both enemies and teammates, okay? So if the enemy is in a bad state, in a bad position, take advantage. If your team is in a bad position, you fall back, okay? So like with that, take advantage and then work on aim. Uh, you have to calm down. You're moving too fast. Okay? Calm down. You have to calm down about how you're not a super fast ninja, okay? Speed will come with focus, okay? You have to, as Genji says, a steady blade is in the mind of the wielder, okay? You will get faster as the more refined you are, okay? The cleaner your aim is, the calmer you think, the more the focused you are on what abilities you have to use and what timing, then you'll start getting faster as you do them quicker and quicker, and you start thinking quicker and quicker. Okay? And blade at the right time. In that whole game, you didn't have one single good blade. I'm gonna just say it. Play at the right time, because every time you beat it, there was either a beat or you just didn't kill anyone improperly. I mean, you killed a widow once, but they got res, so that doesn't count. Okay, so you're missing a lot of things. And once you finish all of those, you will get plus up rank. Okay, you'll probably be diamond. Plus up, or you'll at least be plat 1. And then plus you will get quicker, so you get cooler. Okay, you get bitches. You get and you learn about macro. Learn about macro. Okay. And with this, you have to understand team composition. Who to focus. Okay. I feel like you already have this down. We have to look at who's vulnerable and who's not. Okay. That's all. So, thanks for watching. This, I know it's a very long view, so 1.5 hours. But this is basically the key you need for when you get position better. Okay, so this is the key to not only get to diamond, but even get up to high diamond. Okay, so you can just every time you're having a bad game, just look through this list and see which one of these are you doing wrong. Did you have bad aim? Did you couldn't follow up? You didn't take advantage of anything, of anyone when they were low? Were you in a bad position? Was the timing wrong? You didn't keep track of the enemy players or their abilities? Okay, that's it. You're welcome, bro. Sorry if this took too long.